Good morning, friends. It's Joe. Welcome to my scripture reflection for Friday, May the 2nd. I hope you're doing well on this Friday morning. It's a beautiful day here in the Northeast. Some rain coming in, but that's important for things to grow. It's also important that we grow each day, and we grow each day with a little bit more zeal to what we do. We can never say that everything is finished, regardless of who we are and where we are in our life. And that's a good intro into our scripture today. So I'm going to ask you to quiet your minds and hearts as we prepare to hear today from St. John, chapter 6, verses 1 through 15. Jesus went across the Sea of Galilee. A large crowd followed him because they saw the signs he was performing on the sick. Jesus went up on the mountain. There he sat down with his disciples. The Jewish feast of Passover was near. When Jesus raised his eyes and saw that a large crowd was coming to him, he said to Philip, "Where can we go buy enough food for them to eat?" He said this to test him, because he knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, 200 days' wages worth of food would not be enough, for each of them has to have a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter, said to him, "There is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what good are these for so many people?" Jesus said, "Have the people recline." Now there was a great deal of grass in that place, so the men reclined, about 5,000 in number. Then Jesus took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed them to those who were reclining, and also as much of the fish as they wanted. When they had had their fill, he said to the disciples, "Gather the fragments left over, so that nothing will be wasted." So they collected them and filled 12 wicker baskets with fragments from the 5 barley loaves that had been more than they could eat. When the people saw the sign he had done, they said, "This is truly the prophet, the one who is to come into the world." Jesus knew that they were going to come and carry him off to make him king. So he withdrew again to the mountain alone. In martial arts, which I've been studying for over 40 years, you never feel as if you've reached the end. You always need to learn something each day. You also need to understand that you never empty your tank completely for anything whatsoever. You work to the point where you have a storage of at least a little bit left over each day. In life, as I said in my intro, we should never feel as if we have reached the end of anything. We can always contribute, regardless of who we are, where we are at life, what age we are, or whatever. This, I think, is important for us to realize as we delve into the gospel message, or at least one of them, that we see that Jesus makes sure that all the fragments are collected of the loaves. All of them are collected. So yes, the people there were satisfied, but Jesus knows that there is always more to do. A rescue knows there is always another animal waiting to be rescued. We know that there's always something left for us to do. This should be done joyfully, and it is obvious that Jesus is sending a very clear message here. He does the original important work of making sure all there were satisfied, but he tells the disciples, you and I are disciples, gather the fragments, and that is our sign that there is always more to do. Now, what's very important here, my friends, is certainly the point itself, that there's always more. There's always fragments. Fragments should never be looked upon as not worthy, but we should look at it as a joyful adventure. Sometimes we can get caught up and say, oh yes, there's more for me to do. Oh yes, I have to continue on. And that's not what Jesus wants of us. Jesus wants a joyful person who is serving him, even with the fragments, even with those things that seemingly are left over or left for the end of our life or end of our time of the week or whatever it may be. Joyfully collect the fragments each day. Realize they do good for this world, good for our own heart and soul, and continue on with a smile. Well, my friends, that's my message for you on this Friday. As always, I hope it was helpful and you could take it into your day. I always welcome and appreciate your comments and your thoughts, and I always, always appreciate your presence here with me. I want to wish all of you a wonderful Friday and Saturday, and I look forward to being back with you on Sunday for another scripture reflection. Take good care, everyone.